All right, so what is in a name? Well, plenty. To some women, engaging in an effort to have the Skyway renamed, it's all part of a story that many people who drive over the bridge every day may not even be aware of.
Dave McKinley shares why these sisters think the Buffalo landmark should bear a different name to honor their father and others like him who lost their lives building it nearly 65 years ago.
And most people don't know the story.
They are three sisters whose father was one of three men killed during the construction of what at the time was called the high-level bridge and what you know now as the Skyway. All three men were what was known as skywalkers.
As they had this ability to work on high beams, and that's where the name Skywalkers came from.
They were a brave bunch, these riveters and iron workers. You'd have to be.
Well, they didn't have a net in those days.
Nor harnesses. And on April 22, 1955, Mitchell LeClaire, who survived combat in World War II, did not survive a sudden gust of wind which blew him off the bridge deck, from which he fell 90 feet to his death near the intersection of Main and Perry Streets, where Canalside exists today.
Dad was a lot of fun. He was a hard worker.
June Mahfood was 8 at the time.
He wasn't even supposed to work that day. He went in to do overtime because it was my communion, and he wanted to make sure that his little girl looked good. So he said, I'll go in and I'll work today and maybe a little extra money, and she can buy a nice dress and veil. Instead, at age 30, he left behind a wife and 3 daughters. Well, they told me that Dad had an accident and that he was not going to be coming back. All I remember is my mother putting her coat on over her slip and running out of the house. And it was tough. It was a tough day.
Florence was only 4. She has no memory of her father. Neither does Celeste, who wasn't born until 6 months after he died.
And you were born when?
October 21st, 1955.
Which was?
2 days after the bridge opened, October 19th.
Tell me about the feelings any of you might get as you drive the Skyway.
I don't like to go on the Skyway to this day. It's just something that you know happened and you can't forget it.
Well, for me, when I drive over there, it's like, okay, this is where my father lost his life. And that's how I feel when I go over the bridge and I make the sign of the cross. Because there's no memorial there, there's nothing there.
They'd like to change that. They'd like what was once known as the high-level bridge, now known as the Skyway, to be renamed the Skywalkers Memorial Bridge. They've gotten a couple of allies in the state Senate, in Democrat Tim Kennedy and Republican Pat Gallivan, who've co-signed a bill to that effect, which is currently in the Senate Transportation Committee. But the three sisters waited all these years to make their push due to another tragic chapter in this tale.
Our grandfather and our uncle witnessed his falling.
Mitchell LeClaire, his father Michael, and his brother Thomas were all working that day as Skywalkers. All three were Mohawk, as many of the Skywalkers were.
They were totally traumatized by the whole thing. But you have to understand that the Native people are very quiet. They don't really express a lot, but it's all internalized.
In deference, they waited until the last of the three, their Uncle Tom, passed away a few years back at age 88.
For years, he couldn't talk about it.
Could never talk about it.
Is there an urgency among you three to have this done now?
We're not getting any younger.
And they know that at the same time they're moving to have the bridge renamed, others are moving to have it torn down.
If it is to be dismantled, we still would like some recognition for those men who lost their lives there.
Mm-hmm.
The sisters say they've made some effort to reach out to find the relatives of the other two Skywalkers who were killed to see if they were interested in joining them. It's been sort of like finding a needle in a haystack, though, as the last names of those two other men killed were Smith and White. But maybe someone out there can help. By the way, The name Skyway was settled on in a contest held to name the high-level bridge after it opened in 1955. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News.